matter to y'all? Good evening, and how is everybody doing out there in the chat? And I'm probably going to have to put my dead burn glasses on because I can't see anybody out there in the chat. So I am. No, I'm trying to see if I don't even think the stream has started over there live yet on YouTube. We are live over on YouTube. Okay, cool. It has just started over here. There's a big delay from the time that I hit the start button till the time it comes over to y'all guys. So big time delay. But anyway, we're gonna get started tonight. Let me and I am gonna grab my glasses because I can't see a dang thing in the chat. Well, this is gonna be fun. I'll just hold them up like this because I can't get them on my headset. Okay, so Rusty Nails Wood Shop, Aussie Man, Dennis Godson or Goodson, Katie Dotson, Loanna Pierce, Michelle Marcoux are all out there in the chat. Thank you so very much. Aussie Man's out there. So I should appreciate it very much. I have to take my headset off to put my glasses on, so I might end up having to do that before it's all over with. So let me go ahead and do it because I'm going to need to. I know it's coming. I gotta go to the optometrist and get new glasses. Yes, that I can wear all the time. These are just reading glasses, but I've asked my wife to make an appointment. I'm fixing to find out because she carries the our dental and I just noticed that I stopped broadcasting there for a second. She carries the dental and glasses insurance because it's cheaper through her insurance. So I've asked her a few times to make an appointment, and that hasn't been done. So Jim Bashir's is out there. Yeah, Jim Bashir's is out there. Like I said, Dennis Goodson, Aussie Man, Michelle Marcoux, all y'all are out there in the chat. I appreciate it. Okay, so tonight, and I don't have my sponsor thing. It's way over there. So the sponsors are up here. I'll do that for tonight. They'll just have to forgive me. I'll miss them one time because I'm not getting up and walking all the way over there. I'm already down over here. So, but I know I'm not prepared. I tried to get as prepared as I could for this show, but still, I always forget something. So one of the things was the sponsors list. We're going to talk about Whirligigs. We're going to go over about the hub and the blades, and then we're going to talk about building the body. A couple of different types of bodies they call them. I don't know what you would call them, but they call them a couple of different types. We call an open and a closed. We'll talk about that. I've got one to cut out here that we'll cut out real quick, but we'll go over. I got the blades glued in. I went ahead and used super glue because if y'all remember from the other night when we were talking about this on the Let's Talk Shop with Russ show, I got these a little loose. Well, I was going to use epoxy, and I have some super thick fast kept 2P10 glue, and I said, well, let me just try the 2P10. Now it's got to be sanded. You can see that the glue kind of eased out. But I just filled it full of the thick glue, stuck these in, and sprayed some activator on it, and boom. Yeah, they stuck. Now, I wanted to try this, and the reason being is because I have never used this 2P10 outside. So I want to actually put this thing together and put it outside and see how this 2P10 holds up. Oh, it does. It does. It spins real good. They were saying the blades look wide and big, nice surface and everything. Yeah, it spins real good. I played around. I put a nail through here and through the center and held it up to a fan, and it just took off. So, But anyway, I want to see how the 2P10 holds up in weather. Now, that naturally this is going to be sanded and painted. If I didn't, these blades wouldn't last 2 seconds out in the weather as thin as they are. But we'll sand it and paint it two or three coats. Plus, I'll use some clear acrylic over it, and hopefully that is. I had a nail here, but I took the nail away. But yeah. Yeah, it rotates. Matter of fact, that's just, it's trying to catch the air from the air conditioner and turn. So, but that is that. And then, so let's get to talking about the body of the body. This is going to be the body for the closed one. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and get it cut out, which won't take me but a second. Now this little part right here, if you're looking, I think I need to come in a little closer with this. Yeah, this little part right here is going to be drilled out in the bottom for the actual thing to sit on. And I'm probably going to end up having to change this and move it over a little bit. We'll just have to wait and see. Because of the length of this. It should be balanced, and this may not work out as good as what I thought it was going to work out as, but it is balanced for this length here. But if you wanted to make this longer, so to speak, all the way out to the end of this piece, it would not be balanced. But for this piece here, once you get the blades and everything on it, because this is the exact same one as the man fishing, which I don't have him, that I showed all y'all. It's the same one as the man fishing, so therefore it's balanced. Time you add the end to it out here as far as the blades and everything, then yeah, it's going to be balanced. And they need to be balanced. Yes, you need to. But you got to realize there's a lot of weight put on this end here once the blades get put on. That's going to help counterbalance it back this direction. So a lot of weight in this. Even though it seems kind of light, that's enough weight to counterbalance it. So anyway, let me go ahead and cut this out real quick so we can go ahead and talk about the open and closed. And then I have to take these up because using them in concession with my magnifying glass, they're way too bright, so I can't see a darn thing. Alright, here we go. I made this wood about the same size as what I needed, so it's going to be very easy. Just cut the end off. And if you buy a pattern and use the pattern, then the pattern will already have the balancing taken into consideration. If you're making your own, then you're kind of just going to have to play it by ear. Cool, Buster Stott. Yeah. Cool. Yep. Oh, Buster, how you doing? Buster has been on here a few times. But he is a newbie, and I do appreciate him coming and watching and being on with us. Okay, this is the body for what I'm going to call a closed pattern. Let me go ahead and turn some of this stuff off because we're not going to need it. What I'm going to call a closed pattern for the base. And the reason we call it closed is because this is the piece that you're going to need to cut out. Okay, it actually goes like this, I believe. Yeah, that you need to cut out, that the axle is going to run through, and the white line that runs across here represents where the axle is going to run through. And what you're going to actually do is, I like to use mine square. I cut out the back, then I cut off the front square, then I put it onto a drill press and I drill the hole. Now whatever size axle you are going to use, you're going to need to drill the hole larger, because I'll tell you why. Here is the piece actually cut out right here. Let me get it into the camera, and it's going to fit on the back and be glued here when everything's said and done. Okay, and then the axle is going to run through it like that. Okay, but what you want to do is, because you're going to be making some bends in this end over here that are going to make movements, like for if there's a man standing here and he's chopping, so the man goes forward and back as he chops, you're going to make some bends. Well, this will never fit through here. So what you do is take it to your scroll saw and you cut it on, you mark a line where that hole's at, and you cut it on the line with the hole like that, so that you can mount this piece. I can go ahead and glue this piece now onto the base, and then I can give me an opportunity to size up my axle, move it back and forth where I need it to go, make my bends, make it hook up. I can test spin it some and see how it's going to work, and then I can actually glue this piece back on top of it, and it'll be a closed piece for the axle. But you're going to need, like I said, to leave a little bit of slop room in there. Actually, when I did the man, I've not only glued it, but I put some pin nails through the top to make sure it held in position, it didn't slide around. Use the glue sparingly. You don't want the glue to get into where the axle was. And actually, I took some Vaseline and I marked the axle where it was going to go in here. I coated that area with a little bit of Vaseline to keep any glue from sticking to the axle. I set it in position. I glued, trying to get it here. It's best if I just do it this way. I set it in position with a little Vaseline on it, and I glued the top, and the Vaseline kept the axle from sticking to the glue. And then I sit there and turned it a little bit just to make sure it wasn't going to stick. And then, like I said, I put some pin nails through the top along the edge to make sure it held. Okay, so that's one of the kind of, it's called a closed base. Now this could be as long as you want it. It doesn't have to be that short. I made it short. It can be as tall as you want it. It can be whatever size. The main thing is the axle passes through it. That's why they call it closed. And you also, if you made a windmill where the axle will run along the length of the bottom, you could have a closed axle in the very beginning, and then this would run down to the end. You have a little stop for it, and then you could have like oval, like egg-shaped round things that would turn and push things just straight up and down through. Now this would be the bottom, so it would actually be like this. And you could have ovals on this that would push up and down on something. Actually, that's what the Whirligig that I'm going to make is going to have that. So I'm trying to get it into the camera where you can see it. So it can be closed on the bottom or on the top. It doesn't matter, whichever way you want to put this. However your Whirligig is going to be designed. So that's closed. So now let's talk about open real quick. And this one is considered an open one. And that is this. And all these are is small L brackets that you can purchase at any of your box stores. They make them smaller than this. This is the only size I had, so that's the reason they're this size, is because of that. But what you would do is your axle would run here. I can actually put the blades on this one. Your axle would actually run through here for the open. It would help if I hit first hole like that, and then it would go and turn. It's trying its best. It's catching the wind from the air conditioner to turn in here, and then it would go through that, and then it would go on out here and either make some movement up and down. You could, once again, it could be open on the bottom the same way it is on the top, and it could run along and turn things from the bottom. Either or, it doesn't matter. What's that? Wow. Oh, this, I'm using a coat hanger as demonstration. This is not the rod that I have that I normally use. I'm just using a piece of coat hanger because it's so much easier to use. Yeah, the rod that I have is a much bigger and thicker in diameter, and it's not going to bend. Yep, I'm just using, usually I use the coat hanger to attach itself to the rod in the bend area, because the coat hanger is so much easier to bend. So there you have opened and closed. So, and then once again, this should be balanced for your hole going up through. You don't have to make this curved like this. This is just one of the patterns that I had designed and made. This could be a solid piece. It doesn't have to be curved. It just kind of looked nice when it was curved, or the way this little step up here just kind of looked a little nicer. So let me get the two things I want to get to show y'all. Let me get the actual thick rod that I normally use, and let me get the other Whirligig so we can talk about that. They were wondering where the heck I went. They weren't paying any attention to what I said. I said I wanted to go get the rod and the old Whirligig, and they never heard that. Yeah. So anyway, this is a this is actually the rod that I would use for the this, and I don't think this hole. Yeah, I didn't drill this hole out that big, but you see, yep, and see, so this is not going to go through, but it'll show you that it's really not going to bend either with the weight of that blade. So I don't even remember what's the dimension. I think this is 1/8. It might not be 1/8. Looks a little smaller than 1/8. But you see, this will not bend with the rod. Holding it, it gets way out here before it actually tries to want to bend. So yeah, Al was questioning me in my ear about, wow, that coat hanger could bend in. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, but I didn't intend on it being. But if you'll notice, no. Well, all right. Who is fine? I don't know. Hi, or hey, Dad. Leonard Davis is here. No, I don't know who. It could be one of my daughters. Like, could be like Brandy. I don't know who it is. Well, yeah, I said it could be, but I don't recognize the name, and none of my kids, I don't recognize that. Yes, yes, she does. She plays League of Legends. Okay, well then that's her. That's my daughter Brandy. I kind of suspicion that might be her. Okay, so when I did cut this out, um, or when I did drill this hole, I just wanted to show you that I made this big enough for this steel rod to go through, and it, like I said, it would lay in the. The song "Fine Girl." Yeah, it's Brandy. It's my daughter Brandy. Hi Brandy, how you doing? Love you. So this would fit in here, and then like you can see, this would glue back on the top of this. So this is a much thicker rod. I don't know what size it is. I'd have to measure it because I forgot, and the sticker wore off of it. So this was bought though, purchased at Home Depot. I can tell you that. And it would also work if, which this might be a better way of showing it. This went through here and stuck on here, and then it's set like that. Which way, which way, which way? So, actually I think it turns this way. I'm trying to feel the air movement off of it. Oh, it would go this way. So there you have it. So that's open and closed, and you can have various shapes or forms of the open and closed. Finally, he says hello to his daughter. Well, I didn't know until they said. I didn't know that was her for number one. I didn't know that was her. Yeah, League of Legends. Yep, she plays League of Legends. But do I what? I usually design it ahead. Al's wanting, or Paul's wanting to know, do I design my Whirligig ahead of time or as I go? Usually I design it ahead of time. Now I have to make alterations if some of the stuff that I designed doesn't work. Like the one I'm working on right now, I'm gonna have to play around with it and see if it works. But this is the one I made, and if you can see right there, is this is closed. This is where it was cut open. and the rod ran through, and that allowed me to have this bent end on this end. I'll claim. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But this is a little. Now I got this pattern. I bought a book that had like 50 old patterns in it, and Whirligig patterns. They're all real simple ones, like a horse kicking, but they're all driven basically the same way, so they're real easy. Now I went out on my own and made my own little hub and everything. The reason being is I was just experimenting, wanting to play around when I first made some of my, and this was one of my first ones. When I was actually, I think my first one was a plane, and all the only thing that was a part of the Whirligig was the prop spun around. But so I wanted to design it, and I designed this one really small. It works really good when it gets in the wind. Don't get me wrong, but this is now that's threaded rod through the center and on and through the back here. But this is coat hanger on the man. That's a little hook that I purchased. Just bent it over, and this is actually coat hanger going through his legs, and then coat hanger here going through on the fish, and then that is just real line, fishing line going from the, and that's a piece of coat hanger for the rod too. So yes, Brandy, Katie Dotson. You can probably just put Katie Dotson in timeout because she just said, Brandy, you're totally ruining his reputation. I keep telling everybody he's a villain. So you can probably put Katie Dotson in timeout if she's going to keep talking like that. So, any questions? And we're going to get further into it next week. I'm working on the one that I want to build my own pattern, and it's going to be a surprise. So I'm going to start building it this week. I don't know if I'm going to use this hub or make another hub. This hub here in particular, or make a. I think I'll just use this hub. The reason being I want to use this hub is, like I said, to put it on there because I have intentions to put this outside. So we'll just use this hub and blades and see how it works. One thing good about this, if you use the threaded rod and use nuts, and you if something happens and one of these blades breaks, I can take this back off very easily and put another hub on here with blades and keep right on going. I think that would probably be the biggest thing that would any break out there. Any questions? Like Steve Good said, they have not only patterns but pattern books on Amazon for Whirligigs and whirly patterns. They also have them on Etsy. They have some Whirligig patterns on Etsy. There's Etsy, however you say that stupid name. I'm probably going to get corrected about that before it's over with. It's probably Etsy. So, but you can get some patterns off of Etsy. Amazon has books that not only have patterns in them, but some of them you're booking for. So yeah, secret Whirligig. That's going to be a pretty cool Whirligig. I've been giving it some thought and what I wanted to do. So, but Amazon has some books on the construction and it has patterns in it. Matter of fact, the book that I'm giving away, I almost don't want to give it away because I kind of like it. It has some pretty cool patterns in there. There's a man riding a bicycle. So I might just order one of those books for myself just to have it, to have the extra patterns. But I have not seen a pattern for the one that I am designing out there. I have not seen one. So, and if you'll notice on this one's a little bit different than the way I designed these patterns. This is solid one piece, and this was just put on the top and the very back. It doesn't actually look like this, the way I constructed this one. That's just one solid piece. There's umpteen ways of making a whirligig. You can go real elaborate, or you can go really easy. This was not hard at all. This was one of the very easy one. And so when I chose to do this one, and the plane was the first one of the first ones I did. I have like several of them, but the plane was one of the first ones because it was all I had to do was build a plane and wings and a prop, and the prop turns. This one was a little bit more advanced. The other one was a little bit more advanced. This is one of my favorite because I love going fishing. And as soon as I saw this, I knew I was making this one. Know what Mom knows is there Shelly Cole. Hello, Shelly. Yep, we're here usually on every Wednesday night. So, eatsy when you're hungry, etsy when you're not. Leonard Davis is. Yeah, eatsy when you're hungry, etsy when you're not. That's a good way of putting it. I like that. So, but there you have it. Like I said, any questions out there? Al, are you and Paul still there?
We're still here.
Yeah. Okay. If y'all see any questions, let me know. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask it.
Yeah, is Eatsy edible?
Is Eatsy edible? I don't know. I've never tried to eat it.
You can tell him I'm asking it.
Al wants to know, is Eatsy edible? Yeah, Eatsy. I call it Eatsy. You're just now getting that, Paul, that I was calling it Eatsy?
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, look in the chat for food type.
Okay, yes, fishing, Russ. When I'm not woodworking, I'm fishing. Aussie Man says, yeah, he goes fishing. Yeah, I love to go fishing. We're working on my big boat right now to try to get it up and running so we can take it out into the. It's a 22-foot center console deep V. So, yep, it's got a 150 horse Yamaha on the back of it. It'll fly. It'll run out in the water about 45. So it does real good. It's fast enough I can get you hurt. Let's put it that way.
That'll rip them fish apart if you grab one of them on a hook.
Yeah, it'll flat will. Paul said it'll rip the fish apart if you hook one going 45. Yeah, it will. You can snatch him right out of the water. Well, I guess there's no questions. I haven't seen any. So I hope to see a lot of. I would make them now. These are about 2.5 inches, I believe, wide. About the same width as the other ones were on that other one. You notice I did me a little kind of a cool design. And these stick in this way. They're about 2.5 inches. You can make them as long as you want. Whatever you feel. The longer you make them, I think 2.5 inches is plenty wide. The longer you make them, the more air they're going to attract, and the faster and better the thing will turn in breeze.
How important is it to use material for the rod that will not rust? Use steel or brass?
You could use either oil. This one here, this is a steel rod, and it's going to rust. I mean, there's just no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You just have to keep maintenance on it. Spray it with a little bit of lubricant to keep it from rusting so bad. But you could use brass. Yes, you could definitely use a brass rod. Brass rod is threadable. It should be stiff enough to take it. So yes, you could use brass. It's Leonard Davis says, what's the best angle for your blade? 21 degrees. That's what the hub is cut in at, 21 degrees. If you'll go back and look at my last Let's Talk Shop with Russ show, I show you how I cut these at 21 degrees on the scroll saw. But back to steel or brass, or I wouldn't recommend stainless because I don't. Good luck on trying to thread stainless and bend it, unless you heat it.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, just go with. And like I said, if you just go out there and do the maintenance on it on the Whirligig itself, because it does need some TLC if it stays out in the weather. That's This thing is like this windmill right here. It may not. Uh, oh yeah, it will turn a different direction. Yep. But the thing about it is, either way you make it, if you make your blades like this, for instance, either way you make it, you can flip it around if it's going the direction you don't want it to go. If you
So it doesn't make any difference.
No, it doesn't. If it goes clockwise or counterclockwise, it has no effect on what's going to happen. That doesn't make a difference.
Well, your whirly gig might be designed so that it looks cooler going one direction or the other.
Yeah, making it go in the wrong opposite direction, like counterclockwise, that would look cool. Yeah, but it really doesn't matter. It's going to turn. But where you want it to turn is you want the wind to come from this direction into the blades, because this end down here, which this should have been a lot bigger, this down here will paddle as the wind comes across. As a paddle, it will steer it into the wind. It'll turn it into the wind. So
Ron Pierce wants to know, will the rod rust if we coat it once since and start putting adhesives in?
it's still going to rust over a period of time. Even if you coat it, it's still going to rust. If it stays out there long enough, the varnish is not going to hold up, and it will rust. You need to do
It
some.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah, as long as it's turning, it doesn't matter. But you're going to need, like I said, they need some maintenance. This was out for 3 years, and when I brought it in, it needed some maintenance. And I haven't put it back out because I kept it for showing. When I took over the Whirligig Wars, I kept it for showing Whirligigs. But they're going to need maintenance unless you just let them run until they crap out and then throw them away and build another one. You know, if you keep up on them, they'll work. And this stood out there for 3 years without needing any maintenance. So, and you can see the rod really isn't all that rusted. It's got some rust on it, but not a whole lot. So, and this was coated with a Krylon clear acrylic, which made it hold up. The wooden parts held up for so long because you can actually see the blades still have a sheen on them from sitting out there in the weather from that Krylon crystal clear acrylic coating. That's some good stuff. I made a set of ducks, the mama duck and 3 baby ducks, and it held up for years and years and years. We never had to do anything to it. They finally, I didn't pay attention to them. They finally got termites in them. The termites took them out. Okay, well, any more questions?
Talking about the temperatures in there.
Oh yeah, it's hot. It's hot in here to me right now, and I had the thing on this afternoon. But this little AC, I used to have a big AC, like about a 20,000 or 25,000 BTU, a monster AC. This thing's only like 12,000 BTUs, and it don't keep this shop near. I mean, it's comfortable. It's just not as cold as I like it. I like it to be 60 degrees in here.
Yep, this one
Yeah. Uh, James Parker's out there, says hi Jim, Michelle, Paul, Dennis, and Katie. How you doing, James? He says I'm doing good until next Thursday. Okay, what's going on uh, next Thursday?
oh yeah, that's right. He's having
He's having surgery. Okay, they just told me you're having surgery. So
He had to go some surgery. Yep.
okay, well, good luck. I hope everything goes well.
Awesome. If there's no questions, you're just too good at explaining.
Explaining. Um, I want to go back to that real quick and talk about running. Let's say that this was the top, but you can also run. Or I'll use this one as an example. This is a lot better. You can also run, like I said, that axle underneath the Whirligig. It doesn't have to go above the Whirligig. Um, and then you can have it. You can drill holes or whatever through this and have it push the rod up and down through the hole, or you can have oval egg-shaped cams on the rod and have it push something up and down, which I've seen some do that. Yeah, James Parker, I will keep you in my thoughts and prayers next Thursday. Try to remind me during the week, next week. Like matter of fact, next if you're here on next Wednesday show, remind us about your surgery. Because if you're like me, I forget real easy. I forget really, really easy. But yes, if you, like I said, you could actually use a wooden dowel that would go through the base here, and then you could put glue a circle onto the wooden dowel so that the cam would push up and down on that circle and move your object up and down on top. I've seen that done. But if you'll grab a pattern book, which I like the books better, would have some kind of construction. If you've never done this before, then you can use that book and see how they've made them, and then see the patterns. And you can actually, that's how I learned how to design mine. Started designing mine from a book and a pattern book, but it was a real old pattern book.
I've never seen anybody do something like put the blade down below the main part of the whirling jig and then run a drive belt up to it. Just
Yes, I've
lay it
seen.
out of the way so it doesn't obstruct the view of everything.
Yep, I've seen that too. They have those. Matter of fact, go back and look through either this past years, either 2017, 18, or 2017. I think we had somebody on there that had something like that.
Yeah, bro. I'm thinking about making like a flight of aircraft and have them like rock sideways and stuff like that, like they're made.
Yeah. Jim wanted to know if I've ever seen anybody that actually had the uh, um, blades in the hub that would be down below like this, and then have a belt that would run up to a gear on the Whirligig, so that would be offset like this to get the blade out of the way, so that you could have more happening up here. And yes, they make them like that too. Type in, go to two places. Type in Google, type in Whirligigs, and look at all and go to their images and look at all the pictures of everybody else. Type in YouTube, type in Whirligigs, and look at all the videos people have posted on um, YouTube.
20 test whirling images.
Yeah. All right, just looking. Russ, do you just read my mind? Russ, you just read my mind. Okay, that's Jeff Robinson. I think was just fixing to say that. But yeah, type in Google Images and look at all those. I'll tell you another very, very good search engine that I
What's
like.
the when on the 22nd?
Okay, yes.
Can you do that, Alan? Not I just later. I'll continue.
But also I like Bing, which is actually a Microsoft product. I understand that, but I like the way that Bing lays out things whenever you search, because you can go into Bing. It's just bing.com and type in. It'll give you some selection. You can select images and type in Whirligig, and it lays them out in a better display sometimes than Google does. I like the way it works. But there's literally hundreds of images out there of Whirligigs, and that will give you an idea. And then maybe you see one, and then you go to Etsy, or you go on to Amazon and see if they have that particular pattern for that one. The patterns are not expensive. I mean, we're only talking probably about anywhere between $5 to $10. They're not that expensive. The books, most of those books run anywhere from $15 to $25, so they're not that expensive. I think one of them was 11 something. There was another for 13 something. So even the Whirligig books are not that expensive. And like I said, if you buy one that has construction of Whirligigs in it, then you not only get the patterns, but you get an idea how that author or whatever is saying how to construct them, which will give you a lot of ideas. I know that's how I got started. Katie or Shelly Cole says, "I love Bing too." Yeah, I like the way it lays the pictures out, lays the videos out. I like the layout of Bing. I use it quite a bit when I'm looking for stuff. I know Google is like the master or the best search engine they're supposedly out there, but I do like Bing also, especially if I'm wanting to search for like pictures or videos of a specific, like if I go to videos and type in Whirligigs, it will list all Whirligigs, not only on YouTube but anywhere that Whirligigs are posted. So that's the bodies. You have closed and open for the axles to go through. The axles can be on top, they can be on bottom. Like Jim asked, they can be offset. You can actually have a pulley and a belt driven going up the top. There's just so many ways out there to make Whirligigs. There's so many. I don't guess you can put. Jim wants to know if you can put lights on them. Yeah, you can put lights on them. Yep. James James Parker says he won't. James Parker says he won't be making one this year because he just yeah, he's having surgery and everything. I understand that, and plus he just had a craft show that he had done, so he hasn't had time. I understand you're having surgery and everything. No problem. You just won't be eligible for some of the wonderful prizes. That's all. So, and they make smaller L brackets than this. This is just all I had, so I threw them up there. But they make smaller L brackets, and they make one hole about half the size, which is what I would use if I was going to go this direction. I thought about going this direction, and I still might go this direction. Try it for a change rather than, but I will use the smaller L brackets. Awesome wood things. Matt Haas just made it out into the chat. How you doing, Matt? Yep, awesome wood things. He has a good show on Mondays. He has all things YouTube that he does, where he talks about what's happening on YouTube, some of the changes that's happening, and stuff like that. So it's on his channel, all things YouTube on YouTube. And then him and Brenda G from Brenda G's Designs team up on Thursday nights and have their show on Thursday nights. And I think it's on Brenda G's Designs channel. On that one is. So. No, that's a nope. It would be disqualified.
Russ, tell him to mail it to me, and I won't have to build one.
Yeah, Luana says, thanks for much for your information, Russ. That acrylic spray you like for the ducks, you make, will it work for a rod to keep from, that'll help keep the rod from rusting. Yes, you can put that, spray that on the rod, but once again, it's not going to last forever. There is no thing that you can put on there that you can spray on and put it out there and say, hey, that'll be there for 20 years from now. That ain't going to happen. You're just going to have to do maintenance on it, keep an eye on it, and if you see it cocked to one side. You know, go out there and check on it and see what's wrong with it. Mine equals blown on Thursday nights. Yep, I couldn't think of that to save my life. But Brenda G and Matt Haas does Mine Equals Blown on Thursday nights over on Brenda G's channel over on YouTube. And it's Brenda G. So, yep, if you want to put up a link real quick, Mr. Owl, to if you have a chance, to Matt All Things YouTube's channel and the Brenda G's channel. That would be good. More cowbell. Yeah, Brenda G. Oh, Brenda G's Designs just popped in, so she's here now. So great. Really, really good. All right. Well, and Brenda, you popped in, and we're fixing to cut out of here because I have to go in and eat supper. I hadn't eaten supper yet. I was trying to get everything set up for tonight's show, so I didn't have a chance to yet. I got to clean my glasses. They're dirty. Okay. Great. Thank you. We posted the links to Brenda G's channel and also to Matt Haas's All Things YouTube out there in the chat. So if y'all want to go check those out. Yeah, Matt could use the subscribers. Brenda G says, I've been here lurking. Yeah, All Things YouTube. Okay. Know what Mom knows says, thanks for the show. You're welcome. You're most welcome. And next week, like I said, I'm going to start working on the Whirligig tomorrow, actually, because I'm just about completed designing it, and I need to have that time before the show next Wednesday to be working on it and make sure things are going to work. Then I can kind of like show, we can work on it some on the show, but plus show it off what I've got done and everything, and talk about it. Aussie Man says this Saturday, if everything goes right, we're going to have Franklin Woodworking, or Woodworks on. Let me look and see on the show. Let me see if I can find him. I haven't been in contact. It's Rob Franklin. Yep, Rob Franklin from Franklin Woodworks. So he lives in Walla Walla, Washington. Yep, Franklin Woodworks. Yes, so he is going to be on the show this Saturday. Now, I haven't gotten in contact with him. I mean, he's scheduled for this Saturday, but I will be making contact with him probably tomorrow, and just to confirm that he's going to be on and everything before I make the post. But yes, Franklin Woodworks. He likes to do a lot of things. He just had a boo-boo on a table he just did. So. Yep. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. Yeah, it's not too short. You said a short show. It's not too short of a show. It's 8:28. We started at 7:30, so it was about an hour, which I usually run about an hour on Wednesday night. So, yeah, but we're going to get out of here. Yep. Al just informed me we've been streaming for 58 minutes, so it ain't been that short of a show. So. Yep. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I would very, very, very much appreciate if you give me a thumbs up. We got 23 thumbs up as of right now and 33 people watching. So Those that haven't, please give me a thumbs up before you leave. I'd appreciate it very, very, very much. So, Michelle Marcoux says night all, and Luana Pierce says sing. So, yep, that's what I'm fixing to do. All right, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week on Wednesday. And the last thing I got to do is when the sun comes a peeping into where I'm sleeping, it's out to my shop I go, just making piles of sawdust and getting covered from head to toe. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching, and God bless. And I got to figure out how to turn this stupid thing off. That's the hard part. In stream. You think that's the button I need to push?